Madison Square Garden hadn't even cooled down properly yet when the first shockwave rolled through the MMA world. The main card marathon of UFC 322 had left its mark, and a massive one at that. The night kicked off with none other than Dariush, who had already made headlines the day before with his botched weigh-in. 20% of his purse gone before he even put the gloves on, a start that gives any fighter nightmares. And as if that wasn't enough, Benoît Saint-Denis detonated inside the cage like a triggered explosive. Dariush opened the dance with a kick, and half a second later, he was already lying backward in another dimension. 16 seconds, one left hand, done. The shock was so big that after standing up, Dariush looked like he was searching for the WIFI password. BSD, on the other hand, he walked straight over to Dana White and talked with the energy of someone who had just cleared out the entire division, probably already demanding a title shot. And honestly, after a knockout like that, you can do that without turning red. Naturally, the internet exploded immediately. One person called it making it look easy. Another spoke of a revenge tour. Someone else said it was so filthy you should probably censor it. In short, the scene was out of control. And while the arena was still roaring, a brawl suddenly broke out in the crowd. And of course, Dillon Danis was right in the middle of it, like a magnet for trouble. Punches flying, security running, someone yelling, and Danis standing there later with red marks on his face, surrounded by police who almost arrested him inside Madison Square Garden. He swore it was self-defense, but the cameras definitely saw, let's say, more interesting versions of that story. Even Joe Rogan and the commentary team had to improvise during the live broadcast because a miniature street fight literally broke out behind them. While the arena was still vibrating from BSD's lightning KO, the next shocker of the night was already queued up: Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. A fight Leon absolutely needed. 2 losses in a row had already chewed through his ranking spot, and another defeat would have been like a career dropkick straight into the abyss. The start? A bit of striking back and forth. The classic "let me check your timing" warm-up. Then Leon took things to the ground and wrapped himself around Prates, while apparently treating the fence like a handy assistive tool. The ref was 1 second away from slapping a hands off the cage sticker on his forehead. The round ended with Leon taking Prates' back, looking like he had everything under control. But appearances in the welterweight division fall apart faster than a heavyweight overhand, because in round 2, the thing nobody saw coming happened. Carlos Prates landed a left hand so brutal, it will probably appear in KO highlight reels for the next 10 years. Leon went flying backward like an action movie stunt, and in that exact moment, Prates made history. He became the first man to ever knock out Leon Edwards. The MMA community collectively lost its mind. One person said Prates punches like a taser. Anyone he touches just drops dead. Another already called him the welterweight Pereira, the human wrecking ball. Someone else reminded everyone how Prates destroyed Leon's stance with leg kicks before delivering the KO like a bomb. In other words, this fight was the moment the MMA world officially realized Carlos Prates is a problem, a very big one. And the chaos of the night was far from over. The fans hadn't even had time to breathe when the next welterweight killer marched toward the cage. Michael Morales versus Sean Brady. Dana White had already hinted that this fight was practically an unofficial eliminator, the kind of matchup where everyone knows whoever wins here is knocking on the contender door very soon. And Morales? He didn't knock. He walked straight through the door. In less than 1 round, it was over. TKO 19 and 0. A record that sounds like he fought the first 19 matches against NPCs. That's how clean he looks. Reactions from the MMA world shot in immediately. A fighter said he had "told you the kid is good." Max Holloway called the main card a treat for fans. All finishes, no breaks. Gilbert Burns could only tweet OMG. And when a veteran like Dariush is speechless, something is up. The discussion escalated fast. The 170 division is turning into a monster. Some said they don't understand how Morales even makes 170 pounds. Others said welterweight has always been wild, but now it's truly exploding. What's definitely clear, with Morales, Prates, and all the other killers, the rankings will soon look like a hit list. And UFC 322 was only at halftime. After a string of wild knockouts and career booby traps, the co-main event rolled in. Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili, a matchup that smelled like pure elite. And before the two even stepped into Madison Square Garden that night, there was a moment outside the arena that made serious waves. Ronda Rousey had sent out a message a few hours before the fight, directed at both women, and that message had exactly the kind of tone that makes fighters like Shevchenko and Weili even more dangerous.
Is that you go out there and you prove to everyone watching and everyone else on that card that you are main event attraction and you are the most exciting fight of the whole night, of the whole year. You go out there and you steal the show and you make sure everybody remember your names. And I know that you are entirely capable and you're doing an amazing job, and best of luck.
Can you send me this?
Yeah, of course I can send it to you.
Okay.
The first round in the octagon was high-level feeling out, lots of reading, lots of measuring, two world-class fighter minds trying to force the other into the first mistake. Pure gold for hardcore fans, a slow warm-up for casuals. But round 2 was the moment Valentina suddenly found the key. Shevchenko threw Zhang into a crucifix like she had downloaded the move beforehand. Control, precision, complete neutralization. Textbook Valentina. Round 3 brought Zhang's big push. She came out like she had found a turbo button during the break. Fired shots, applied pressure. For a moment, it looked like momentum might shift. But then came that knee, that perfect stopping, not so fast knee. After that, back to the ground, and control went clearly to Valentina again. Round 4, more body shots, more top game, fewer highlight moments, but maximum effectiveness. Round 5, Shevchenko stayed on top, stayed heavy, stayed dominant. 5 rounds, one theme, control. The MMA community went wild online immediately. One person called Valentina the best in the world. Others said Zhang's performance showed she must return to strawweight. Bottom line, Valentina delivered a masterclass and reminded the entire division why she was untouchable for so long. But it wasn't over, because the main event was about to flip UFC 322 upside down. And then, it was time. The main event that had electrified the entire MMA world for weeks. Islam Makhachev moving up to welterweight to rip the crown off Jack Della Maddalena's head. Even before the fight, Islam got support from the most important man in his career. Khabib sent him a message that sounded like a mix of fatherly wisdom and war declaration. Round 1 to both start standing, clean, technical, cautious. Then Islam switches gears, grabs a leg, and yanks JDM to the ground like a backpack begging to be carried. Jack tries to scramble, but slips straight into a position with only one possible outcome: control. Islam sticks to him like he's glued on with industrial adhesive. Round 2, JDM starts well again, but a single mistake sends the fight straight back to the ground. More control, more frustration, and again that feeling Islam is playing chess, while Jack is still looking for the pieces. Round 3, the stand-up gets wild. Both land, both throw. But as soon as Islam decides they've stood long enough, JDM is back down. The kicks? Even worse. Every calf kick made Jack's leg look like it had a terrible day at the gym. Round 4, body triangle. Islam clinging to Maddalena like a weighted vest. No finishes, but total control. Dominance on autopilot. Round 5. No risks, no drama. Islam shoots the takedown immediately, shuts the fight down, and suffocates whatever hope JDM had left. When the final buzzer sounded, it was official. Islam Makhachev, double champ, welterweight, lightweight, the complete package. And on top of that, he tied Anderson Silva's win streak, 16 fights in a row. Historical. The MMA community exploded. One said Jack needs a full wrestling camp in another country. Another called Islam pound for pound #1, end of discussion. And of course, the usual challengers lined up immediately, but reality remained. Islam stepped into welterweight now and rearranged the whole division instantly. If you enjoy these recaps, hit like, follow the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you want to see next against Islam at welterweight? And trust me, what's coming next in the MMA world is absolutely unbelievable. Stay tuned, you won't believe it.